prior to coming to Germany, I had this idea that the Autobahn was the world's biggest racetrack. And with the unlimited speed limits, I really didn't know what to expect. However, in real life, it's been a little underwhelming. That doesn't mean it doesn't have its perks, and it's really a great highway system. So in this video, I'm going to cover what to expect, how to navigate, and just really some basic concepts that you're going to see on the Autobahn. So stay tuned.
I'm going to break this down into two sections, rules of the road and amenities that you'll find on the Autobahn. Starting with the speed limit in Germany varies depending on the location, but generally the top speed limit is 130 kilometers an hour, which works out to about 80 miles per hour. So here's the thing, when you go faster than 130 kilometers an hour, you have to be in a special zone, and those zones are few and far between. Additionally, you're also automatically liable for any incidents that should happen when you're going that fast. So it's kind of like a built-in safety factor. As far as speeding goes, you're never going to see the German Polizei sitting on the side of the road waiting for you to come in. Instead, they rely heavily on speed traps, both stationary and mobile. The mobile ones will really get you sometimes. So one of the things that surprised me were the huge traffic jams that you find across the Autobahn. These really ruin your day. You can find these around construction zones or rush hour near the cities, and they pretty much will lock up for hours and miles. They're also known as the Stau or Verkehr. So here's where Germans and their driving abilities really shine, because Germans are really good drivers and you won't realize how bad American drivers are until you come to the Autobahn. So here in this traffic jam, Germans follow the RETTUNGASSE, which is basically a rescue lane. So it's customary to pull over on the side of the road as you cruise through the traffic jam, allowing emergency vehicles to run through the middle. And then as you can see here, lane splitting is legal as well. So if you have a bike, you can cut through traffic pretty easy. So if you plan on taking road trips or long drives, rest stops are essential, and Germany has a really good network of rest stops along the Autobahn that are free to use. They have picnic benches and free restrooms and trash sites. But the funny thing is that urinating in public is completely legal. So don't be surprised if you see guys on the side of the road just aiming towards the bushes. That kind of makes these sites a little weird and somewhat dirty. Now, if you opt into the bigger rest stops, these have everything you could possibly imagine, and they're a lot more spread out and a little more sanitary, particularly because you have to pay for everything. So they have these restrooms where you can pay to use, and they come with, it may sound funny to pay to use a restroom at a truck stop or something like that, but it's kind of neat because they give you a voucher for essentially what you paid. The restrooms are way cleaner, and you can redeem that voucher within the actual store itself. On top of that, you can actually collect these vouchers and use them across the sanitary locations throughout Germany. The Germans are car people through and through, and they're really proud of their Autobahn. They take very good care of it, unfortunately, but it comes with a cost of construction zones. But as far as debris and safety hazards, they're not an issue at all. You'll really be impressed. They're so proud of their Autobahn and the overall countryside and their love of driving that they don't allow billboards. So throughout the entire country, you'll never see billboards ruining the backdrop. It's really a great experience. One last thing I want to add is that while the Autobahn isn't the racetrack I imagined, it still is free. And that doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but it does when you start crossing borders. And I'll cover that in my next video, so stay tuned.